Have you ever wondered about the real science behind these? But what researchers discovered decades later completely changed our understanding. Welcome to Racetrack Playa, a place where gravity feels broken. Look closely at these deep, jagged furrows etched into mud. People once blamed magnetic fields or even midnight alien visitors. The secret is actually a thin, invisible sheet of ice. Think of the ice like a giant, slippery, flat sail. When wind hits, the rock glides across the wet surface. It is just high-speed physics, not some strange supernatural force. Ready to investigate another mystery? Click here for more science. These deep furrows suggest a force dragging heavy rocks daily. Some boulders weigh hundreds of pounds, yet they still slide. The ground here is incredibly flat, like a billiard table. Look closely at the mud. It acts like a lubricant. Winter nights bring freezing temperatures, turning the playa into ice. Imagine a thin sheet of glass sliding under the rock. Even light desert breezes push the ice, carrying rocks along. It is like a giant air hockey table for stones. Friction vanishes when ice meets the saturated, muddy clay floor. But what happens when the ice melts? We see next. These deep grooves prove heavy stones traveled across the basin. Early theories blamed magnetic forces or even extraterrestrial intervention here. These boulders weigh hundreds of pounds, making movement extremely unlikely. Think of the dry mud like sandpaper, holding everything tight. When winter arrives, the dry basin floor turns into ice. A thin, floating sheet of ice becomes the secret mechanism. Gentle winds push the ice, dragging the rocks along slowly. It is like a giant sail pushing a heavy sled. This only happens when every single environmental factor aligns perfectly. Nature keeps these stones wandering while we watch in awe. Long tracks scar the dry lake bed without any human footprints. Some of these traveling boulders weigh over 300 pounds. Curiously, adjacent stones often slide in perfectly matching curves. The slick clay bed acts like a giant, slippery ice rink. Yet, normal desert winds cannot push these heavy giants alone. The rocks apparently had stage fright, avoiding the cameras entirely. They only traveled during cold, stormy winter nights. Freezing temperatures transform this arid wasteland into an icy trap. Water pools on the clay, hinting at a hidden lubricant. Dry lake mud looks solid, but water changes everything instantly. Rare winter rain transforms this parched desert into slick clay. Even slight moisture reduces friction to almost zero down here. Strong desert winds howl across the flat, open playa floor. But wind alone cannot push these 100-pound giant boulders. Freezing night temperatures introduce a completely new physical element. Thin sheets of ice begin forming over the shallow water. These frozen sheets lock the heavy stones in tight grips. The stage is set for a bizarre, silent movement. Heavy winter rain creates a shallow pond on the dry playa. Freezing night temperatures turn this water into vast, thin ice. Morning sun melts the ice just enough to float it. Underneath, the clay mud becomes as slick as wet soap. Strong desert winds push these massive, floating sheets of ice. Hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get updates. The heavy rocks scrape deep paths into the soft mud. When the water evaporates, only the mysterious tracks are left. But how did scientists finally catch this movement on camera? Freezing desert nights turn rainwater into giant, razor-thin ice sheets. These window-pane-thin sheets trap the heavy stones inside them. When the morning sun melts the ice, it breaks apart. Gentle breezes then push these floating ice rafts forward. The moving ice drags the heavy rocks across slippery mud. This simple ice shove mechanism carves those mysterious, long tracks. It requires a perfect storm of water, ice, and wind. Think of it like a sail powering a heavy sled. But wait until you see the bizarre shapes they leave. GPS trackers finally captured the stones moving in real time. Cold desert nights freeze thin sheets of water around them. Gentle winter breezes push these massive ice panels across mud. Think of ice sheets acting like giant, frozen sails. The ice-locked rocks scrape long trails into the clay. Rising morning sun melts the ice, leaving only trails. Simple physics solved a mystery once blamed on aliens. This delicate balance of nature requires absolutely perfect conditions. The evidence points to a much deeper story.